Hi, I'm Alois Bunjira and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport Podcast.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes!
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
What should be an exciting weekend of action gets underway this evening as FC Platinum takes on the Ghost, the happy people, Orlando Pirates at the Orlando Stadium in Soweto this evening. FC Platinum, you could say, playing for nothing, but Pirates, of course, with a distinct hope to make it to the knockout stages of Africa's Premier Cup competition. We'll be building up to that game right here on your favorite station and your favorite sports show. We'll also be taking a look at the Pro50 Championship final, which sees the Eagles and the Tuskers going head-to-head at Harare Sports Club tomorrow. In our international sports news, the Super Rugby weekend got off to a thrilling start as the Wellington Hurricanes edged past the Highlanders with the last kick of the game. And then in the beautiful game, this weekend's action is headlined by Manchester United's trip to North London to take on Arsenal in a battle for top four honours. This is the top station, the top sports show with the top team: Alois Bunjira, Simba Fupa Jena, Barry Menandi, Chris Gay, Shonta Firenyika and Mike Madoda. We hope to keep you entertained until the top of the hour, 7 o'clock.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Okay, keep your hashtags rolling in. Pro-Feeds Trivia. We could give you a call. You fill 2 questions, get both correct, and you'll be in with a chance when we have our grand draw for the month of March, giving away fantastic prizes courtesy of Pro-Feeds. The number you need to take note of is 0731 168 045. 0731 168 045. Now let's get into it on the home front with cricket, where the Eagles and the Tuskers clash in the Pro50 Championship final at Harare Sports Club tomorrow. In the top of the table clash during the round robin stage of the competition last week, and the Eagles beat the Tuskers by 4 wickets. Eagles captain Tinotenda Mtombodzi, however, insists the final will be a different proposition for his high-flying side.
Well, it's a final, isn't it? We're always looking to get to the final of any competition, and that's what we're looking to play for. So yeah, I think we are ready for the game tomorrow. Yeah, I think we had a good game against them I think a few weeks ago, but I think we will take game by game as it comes. Well, we played well against them, but for now it's a final. There will be pressures that will come along with it, so we just look to concentrate on tomorrow's game. Well, Tuskers are a really good side. They've got some special players, as you say, and they've done well in the past games. But like I said, we're not really looking to concentrate on their side of play. But we'll just concentrate on our game and look to put on a good game of cricket tomorrow.
That was Eagles skipper Tinotenda Mtombodzi, and it'll be interesting to note, of course, how they performed. They seem to have performed very well, Barry, in the Pro50 Championship, having finished 3rd in the Logan Cup, where they were also ranked, as it were.
Exactly, yeah.
But they come into this match high on confidence, looking to win themselves a cup.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't look too much at the Logan Cup form, because you've got the 2 bottom sides in the Logan Cup in the final of the Pro50 Championship, so they weren't great in that competition. competition, but certainly in the Pro 50, these two teams have been awesome. And I think the strength and depth of the Eagles, if they can bring it, stitch it all together and put it all together with bat and ball, they've got the quality to deliver results here.
Chris, who are some of the players we should be looking to from the Eagles to put in some big performances?
Alton Chigumbura, he's been pretty inconsistent in terms of form recently, so he's going to be looking to basically put up a good performance. Also, Cephas Joao, a big hitting opening batsman, and he's also going to be looking to make a big score. He hasn't made any big scores this season, so he's going to be very keen to put that right. And also Chamuchi Baba, he's been working well on his skills and his accuracy, but he's another one that we need to watch out for because he's also another one with something to prove in this particular competition.
Those are, of course, the big players for the Eagles, and they'll be ably complemented by informed batsman Regis Chakava, who scored a century and a 50 in his team's campaign so far. They're up against the bottom team in the Logan Cup, and that is the Tuskers. The Tuskers, of course, must be commended for having surprised everyone so far in the competition after they made such a weak thing showing in the 4-day competition where they finished bottom of the log without even a single victory to their credit. So let's get to hear what frame of mind they are in as we hear the sentiments of Tuskers skipper Ainsley Ndlovu.
I guess it was the form we had in the 4 days. It was bad, and it motivated the guys to do well in the 50 over format. For the whole squad, we really need this as a team, as a unit going on to next season. It's been very nice and a very good privilege. Like all the senior guys, they've been good help, like all the time, and they're always there and to support and give advice whenever it's needed. As far as I'm concerned, everyone's playing except for maybe Tafara, because he's pulled a quad.
Ainsley Ndlovu there chuckles in the studio and comments that he's such a sweet young man.
Sweet voice.
Oh, sweet voice. But Simba, they'll have to be made of sterner stuff than that, isn't it, in the final versus Eagles? They don't have the same depth that the Eagles boast of, but they have some pretty decent players in their ranks.
Yeah, decent players that include Sean Williams, whose form probably in the BPL will hopefully come in handy in this particular format of the matches as well. And the usual names again, Craig Irvine. I think he's had a good knock, probably 2 centuries in the preceding matches. So he's carrying that form at the right time. So those are the people that they'll be looking at. And then the bowling attack, a name that we're all familiar with, also knocking on the door of the ODI national team in Chris Mpofu. So they don't have the same depth, so it's looking to the same sort of no-name brand, so to speak.
Okay,
no-name brand. Known-name brands. I know what it sounded like. I need to correct that.
We want to hear from you, cricket fans. If you're nipping over to Harare Sports Club, tell us, which team are you backing? Who do you think is going to win the Pro50 Championship? Will it be the Tuskers, who are, of course, the franchise out from Matebeleland, or will it be the Harare-based Eagles? Action at Harare Sports Club tomorrow. Send us your predictions on our WhatsApp platform 0731 168 045, Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport.
Hi, this is Alexandra Maseko, and I'm the national basketball team captain, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
All right, now Minister of Youth, Sports, Arts and Recreation Kirsty Coventry says the government will leave no stone unturned in their preparations for the Africa Games after appointing seasoned administrator Eugenia Chidakwa to be the chef de mission for Team Zimbabwe. Chidakwa, who's the director of the Ministry of Sport, will be assisted by Martin Dururu from the Sports Commission on the technical side, and Memory Pakati from the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee from the administrative side. The Games will take place this August in Morocco with more than 5,000 professional and amateur athletes competing in 27 sporting codes. In athletics news, the stage has been set for what promises to be an exciting edition of this year's CBZ Peter Gradwell Marathon to be held on the 17th of March at Old Georgian Sports Club, with a record field of over 1,000 participants expected to line up in one of the biggest races on the local athletics scene. The race, which has become an annual event on the local athletics calendar, will see participants drawn from men and women's open categories competing in 4 distances. Those are the 42.2 kilometer, 21.1 kilometer, the 10 kilometer and 5 kilometer, and also there is wheelchair racing. We understand Ngai Muzenda and a lot of ZiFM staffers are going to be running in that marathon. All the best guys don't die. In football news, FC Platinum. Well, the thing is, I don't know if they've been preparing. They're just going out and running. Anyway, football news, FC Platinum will be looking for their first win in the group stage when they play Orlando Pirates in a Group B CAF Champions League clash at Orlando Stadium tonight in Johannesburg. The Zimbabwean champions have no chance of making it into the quarterfinals of the competition with just a single point from 4 matches, but their clash remains important as they seek to restore lost pride. Norman Murphy's side is yet to score a goal at this stage of the competition, and their only point so far came against Pirates in the opening match in January, where they played a goalless draw.
Qualcomm, the home of great food, celebrates its 75th birthday. As a thank you to all our customers, we have amazing price cuts on all your favorite products. Enjoy unbelievably reduced prices on our frozen boerewors, breakfast and ready-to-eat sausages. Celebrate 75 years of wholesome, tasty goodness. Available at all leading retail stores and Qualcomm shops nationwide. Qualcomm, 75 years of greatness.
Unlike TV, Quest the place they entertained all day. Online streaming channels on your TV. For kids, entertainment. Movies, sports, and music. Gaming, travel, and more. Premium entertainment on Quest the Play. TV. I like TV, yeah. Press the play, they entertain all day. Press the play, it's unlike TV. Unlike TV. Press the play, they entertain all day.
Get your Questa Play device for just $59. Questa Play, it's unlike TV.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Oh, we hope you've been paying attention, because straight after the play of the day, we got the Pro50 Sports Trivia, where we'll be asking 2 questions. Those 2 questions from the content that we are giving you on this edition. So carry on listening. Pay attention, and the answers will come very quickly to you. If you're the one lucky listener, we get to call back. Let's talk Super Rugby. This weekend's fixtures: the Canterbury Crusaders will take on the Waikato Chiefs, the Auckland Blues versus the Sunwolves, the Waratahs take on the Queensland Reds, the Lions take on the Jaguares, and the Blue Bulls will be taking on the Sharks in matches played this morning. The Melbourne Rebels produced a stunning second half fight back to beat the Brumbies in the Super Rugby clash. The Rebels looked down and out, but a brace from Jack Maddox and tries by Woolginya and Marika Koreibete, coupled with a trusty boot of Quade Cooper, handed them an unlikely 29-26 win. In New Zealand, Bowden Barrett kicked a last gasp penalty to give the Hurricanes a 25-22 victory over the Highlanders, as try machine Ngani Laumape maintained his dominant form. Both sides scored 3 tries in a blustery Wellington weather, with Laumape scoring twice for the Hurricanes to make it 5 in 2 matches for the All Black centre. The scores were locked 22-all at the final siren, and the match hinged on a penalty awarded against the Hurricanes lock Jackson Hemmerpool for hands in the ruck, which Barrett slotted nervously from in front of the post. Let's get the post-match thoughts of Hurricanes captain Dane Coles.
I thought their first 30 minutes, they were the bullies and we were getting bullied in our clean out and our attack. So, mate, it was a real ding-dong battle. Right, they came back in that second half, and our discipline was terrible in that probably 55 to 70 minute mark. So, but good character, mate. We kind of, when we kept it simple and carried clean, we got a bit of a reward. But yeah, hell of a game. It could have gone either way, but just proud of the boys to stick in for 80 minutes. We were playing last week's footy. We thought it was going to come easy, and it was probably a reflection of that first 30 minutes. So good learnings, mate. Like you're going to play different teams and different styles. Just because you do it last week doesn't mean it's going to be the same this week. So, mate, good stuff. Yeah, we're just proud of the boys' effort, and mate, it was a hell of a battle. It was tough,
Z
The Highlanders at the edge over their New Zealand rivals in the forwards, but failed to close out the match after leading 22-14 early in the second half. Highlanders captain Ben Smith, the amazing Ben Smith, says he's proud of his team's effort despite the loss.
Oh, that's footy. Sometimes I just don't think we played the territory as well as we could have, and that put us under the pump a bit. So we'll go away, have a wee look at that, and be better next week. Yeah, obviously the effort was there, as I said before, but we'll just have to get a bit better going into the Crusaders next week. Yeah, well they're pretty brutal on defence, and they showed that tonight. They can really hit. So I think we managed to get a bit of momentum through the likes of our midfield, and just weren't quite good enough to finish tonight.
So an impressive victory there by the Wellington Hurricanes, having to come from behind to beat the Highlanders in a match that the Highlanders should have seen out, Barry. They were leading in the dire stages of that game, but we know small mistakes, especially in these big New Zealand derbies, often decide the outcome of the match.
Absolutely, and number one, the entire match was played with a test match intensity, which made it an exciting spectacle. And yes, mistakes by the Highlanders certainly, but also the Hurricanes put them absolutely under the pump, and sometimes mistakes are forced of you with the amount of pressure that you're sustaining.
Simba, there's been a lot of debate for the All Blacks midfield pairing, with Ryan Crotty often picked ahead of a lot of the other players, but Ngani Laumapi seems to be putting his hand up as a guy that the All Blacks coaches will be looking at to possibly start even ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. And the 5 tries in 2 matches haven't done his causes any harm at all.
Whatsoever.
A hat-trick against the Brumbies last week, and now a brace in this particular match. And what I like about the New Zealand setup, sentiment doesn't usually count for much. If you're good in that particular season and you're actually upstaging whoever is the known name brand, you get your hand.
You're all about the brand.
You get your chance. So yeah, I think definitely right now, if it was to be chosen tomorrow, he would definitely be the pick.
And what's admirable, Chris, is the test match intensity that Barry talked about by the New Zealand guys, because they know that they're playing for their All Black jersey. So it's not just about the Crusaders, it's not just about the Hurricanes, it's not about the Highlanders, but they're looking forward and say, you know what, if I put in a dominant performance against my rival, I'm likely to be in for consideration come the All Blacks jerseys.
Absolutely, like Simba said, it's not about the known name brands, it's more about your performance throughout, and consistency really does pay off, and that's probably why the All Blacks stand out amongst all the other teams. There's not a lot of sentiment in that particular setup.
Well, certainly now Six Nations action this weekend. It's round 4. Scotland entertain Wales, England take on Italy, and it's Ireland versus France.
Hi, I'm JC Krill, Springbok and Blue Bulls backline player. You are listening to ZiFM Sports.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We take off in Florida, where Rory McIlroy remained confident of hauling himself into contention for a successful defense at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, despite making an uncertain start on day 1. McIlroy, whose stunning late charge 12 months ago propelled him to his first win since the 2016 Tour Championship, mixed 4 birdies with as many bogeys in a level par 72 that left him 7 strokes adrift of leader Rafa Cabrera Bello. The Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill continues throughout the weekend. In California, doubt is a distant memory for Novak Djokovic as the world number 1 returns to Indian Wells this weekend on top of the tennis world 1 year after his shock loss to qualifier Taro Daniel. Djokovic is making his first start since winning his 3rd Grand Slam title on the trot at the Australian Open in January. He said he wasn't fully recovered from elbow surgery when he opted to compete in the California desert last year, but it's not a decision he regrets given the events that followed in 2018. And we touched down in India, where after the 3rd ODI in Australia's tour of India, Australia won by 32 runs. India had put up 281 in 48 overs, and Australia managed 313 for 5.
ZiFM stereo is untouchable.
Well, you take a tap in these circumstances.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Pro50. Pro50, your feed and farm professionals.
Sure. Some harrowing tales being told by Alice Mungiro. What we'll do is probably invite him to one of this Thursday shows and do an interview, and you can hear it too. But right now it's time for competition. Simply send a WhatsApp message with the hashtag Pro50 Trivia, and you might be the one lucky listener we call back. You'll field 2 questions. If you get both correct, you'll be our daily winner and in with a chance of winning our fabulous prize for March, a 4-pleat.
A 4-pleat.
4-pleat trousers.
Always thinking about the skirts, Barry.
Yeah, my pleats.
No, remember trousers and pleats as well.
Oh, no.
That's worse.
We hope you're not thinking about men, Barry.
4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. Our second draw will be held on Friday, the 29th of March.
We have Davis on the line. Good evening, Davis.
Evening, how are you?
Good, thank you. How's Kariba?
Kariba is hot.
It's hot. You should invite us out there sometime, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions for you. I hope you've been listening to the show. 1 local, 1 international. Your first question, which Zimbabwe cricket ground has the pavilion end and the city end?
Harare Sports Club.
That is correct. Well done.
Good man.
Halfway there, and you could win yourself, or you could be in to the draw to win that 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. Your second question, who is the captain of the Wellington Hurricanes? We were talking about him just now.
It's going to test you.
Do you need clues?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it Sam Whitelock? Is it Sam Kane? Or is it Dane Coles? Think again. Sam Whitelock, Sam Kane, or Dane Coles?
Yeah, I'm just going to guess.
Yeah.
I think it's Dane Cole.
Yeah! My pleats! Fantastic.
It's the pleats that got you there, brother.
Congratulations, Davis. Have a good Friday.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. And of course, you get a great product range coming in from Pro50. Pro50's poultry feed is renowned in the market, both broilers and layers. Horse feed, cattle feed, beef and dairy, pig feed, goat, rabbit, duck, fish. We should get in touch with the guy at Gava. And dog feed as well.
Are they a bit small? Are you unimpressed with the size of the fish, Michael?
In addition, we sell day-old chicks, point-of-lay hens, fingerlings. Oh, it's Women's Day. I was just about to make a quip there.
So leave it alone.
I will.
Walk right past
So the fish at that establishment are more like fingerlings than they are like full-grown fish, are they, Michael?
Okay, let me finish the work, guys. We also have seed and fertilizer equipment as well as agricultural supplies.
Well, you take a tap into these circumstances.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Pro50. Pro50, the performance feed.
It's the Rumble in the Jungle as the Warriors of Zimbabwe take on the Red Devils of Congo in the Africa Cup Nations Qualifier. Yes, it's going down on the 24th of March 2019 live at the National Sports Stadium. Who will survive the inferno and stand out victorious? You don't want to miss this. So get your tickets now at www.clickandpay.africa. You can also purchase using EcoCash, Telecash, MasterCard, Visa, or ZimSwitch. All tickets to be bought in advance. That means no tickets at the gate. Tickets are going for $10 rest of the ground, $50 pay, $15 to $18, and $200 for VIP. Entertainment from local and international artists. Gates will close at 1:30 p.m. and the match starts at 3 p.m. You've got to be there.
Unlike TV, Quest the place they entertain all day. Online streaming channels on your TV. For kids, entertainment. Movies, sports, and music. Gaming, travel, and more. Premium entertainment on Quest the Play. TV. On TV, yeah. Press the play, stay entertained all day. Press the play, it's unlike TV. On TV. Press the play, stay entertained
Get your Kwese Play device for just $59. Kwese Play. It's unlike TV.
Stay up to date with the latest sporting action and the freshest lineup of on-demand sports on Kwese iFlix. Immerse yourself. Bask in the glory of pulsating action anywhere, anytime. Welcome to the beautiful game on ZiFM Stereo. Brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Kwese iFlix. Entertainment on the go. All the rivalry.
The touch paper. It is blue touch paper. Always him on Derby Day.
All the stars.
Absolutely brilliant again from Mo Salah. The twinkling feet, the ice cold finish, the Egyptian on fire.
And all the game-changing moments.
Aguero!
All the updates from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
This is the league we want to watch.
Manchester United caretaker manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed Anthony Martial is available to make his return from injury in United's crucial Premier League encounter away to the Arsenal on Sunday. Martial has not played since suffering a groin strain during the first leg of United's last 16 Champions League tie against PSG on the 12th of February, but he did pass late fitness tests when he was seen sprinting the length of the ground in Paris this past week after Manchester United had won the World Cup. I'm just joking. Now, the manager is also set to return after missing 3 games with a muscle injury, while fellow midfielder Ander Herrera could also be available after recovering from a hip problem. Now, these are good developments for Manchester United, who over the last 3 or so weeks, Chris, have been undermanned, have not had the players that they would have wanted to have in the big games, but have still come out of those big games with positive results.
Absolutely, and it's been a surprise for both Manchester United fans and non-Manchester United fans. So it's been a really great time to see exactly what they're made of. I think for a long time we had, ghosts of Mourinho past, and we couldn't exactly see what our team was made of. But now the team is coming together and they're putting in some good work.
Now, United, of course, have coped remarkably well in that period that saw them missing up to 10 first-team players, maintaining their charge into the Premier League's top 4 and pulling off a remarkable second-leg comeback versus PSG to advance to the Champions League quarterfinals. One person who always had hope, who always had faith, is Alois Bunjira. And Alois, you must have been celebrating on Wednesday night as United did the unthinkable.
Yeah, I think my Wolves survived. They survived because I hit them very hard. It started with the penalty. I celebrated the penalty before the ball even went, and that boy has got a big heart. He is strong. The way he hit that ball, you can actually see the confidence that he has got. Well done to him for the 21-year-old to be at that center stage, representing the club with the whole world watching. Basically the whole world was watching that game. I'm sure if you were a soccer fan. So yeah, coming back to my faith, like I said in the previous show, it was drawn from previous encounters. This team has got that kind of spirit. They come back from behind spirit. And I mentioned that the Juve game, the Inter match, the Bayern Munich game, remember? And I said, this is the second time I was ecstatic to that level. After the Bayern Munich Manchester United match in 1999, this probably comes the very close second. It was outstanding, fantastic.
Well, I'm always accused of being the edgy one on the show, but you heard it from Alois yourselves. United does love to come from behind. Now, let's just take a look at, of course, at some of the returning players, Simba, the likes of Martial, the likes of Matic. Do you throw in Martial in the mix this weekend versus an Arsenal side who will be treating this match in pretty much the same way as United will be as a cup final in that race for a top 4 finish?
It's a tricky one because so far it looks like they've been doing well without him. So I don't think that temptation, like what used to happen under Jose, where it's almost like if someone is 65% fit, but because he's Jose's man. You almost always certain to start. So I'd say the fact that he's fit enough to be considered, even if he comes off the bench, he can start to offer something to the team. And it's not a bad option to come off the bench either.
Well, Martial, of course, has been one of a number of players to flourish since Solskjaer replaced Jose Mourinho in December and has been a regular starter until suffering that injury. Let's hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Manchester United gaffer.
No problem whatsoever. We've gone through the quarterfinals, which is what we sometimes expected, Man United. That's just... but it was the way that it happened. Of course, the celebrations at the end, it just happens when you win a game at the end like we did. Then again, no problem. We got Arsenal, a fantastic game to get yourselves ready for again. Eric's fine. Anthony will be available, and hopefully we'll have Nemanja and or Ander ready as well. So we're looking better for it. They just need to have another couple of days training with the team. They've done well in their recovery work.
Heated discussion around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We know whilst we were listening to that clip, should he be appointed, should he not be appointed? Now, Barry, the one thing you can't deny is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had the desired effect at Old Trafford. Manchester United is in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's used what he has very effectively. And the one thing that he's done is that he's taken the Manchester United organization and system and used it to back himself. He's brought in Sir Alex Ferguson, okay, and brought him into certain training sessions. He brought him into the dressing room for that Champions League game. He's also got Mike Phelan, who's very effective. I believe probably the most astute appointment by Woodward in this change from the Mourinho era, because he understands the Manchester United way.
Mike Phelan. Then he's got Mike Carrick as well. Do you see a trend? Mike.
Oh my God! Why are you fishing for this? Why are you fishing for this? And I'm not. Listen, you're selling. I'm not buying, brother. Anyway, okay. So he's got great backroom staff, but a backroom staff that understands the club, and he understands the club. That's why he's had the desired effect. And those players now know what it means to play for United.
It would also be folly for us not to talk about Arsenal. I know United is on a
there's
good
another team, isn't there?
run
By the
form.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. But Arsenal, I think they've got over their worst. There was a time, you go back to November, December, Arsenal looked like things were shaky through to January. But in recent weeks, Arsenal looked like they're rediscovering their form. They look like they're capable of playing well. And this game here, though Man United fans may go in very confident, this game here may not be an easy win, as easy as it was the last time United visited the Emirates, Alois.
Yeah, if we go in there and think that because of the good run of form, then you can just walk all over Arsenal, I think that would be very disastrous for Manchester United. They shouldn't, they should just bury that win at PSG and know that they are playing an EPL team that is actually crawling back in form. Like you're saying, the Marco period is over. Now they are back into their groove. They are playing some good football as well. That hard running, sleek passing football. I actually respect Arsenal, and I'm not confident enough. I'm hopeful that we're gonna win, but I can't say that we are definitely going to roll over Arsenal. I won't say that. I want to see the team that come onto the field for Manchester United. First 10 minutes, like I always do, I want to see who has come to the party.
And of course, Simba, just taking a look at the Gunners, I mean, they will be almost desperate to win this game, because in that race for third and for fourth,
third as well,
you take a look at Tottenham. Tottenham have the edge by virtue of the position where they sit, and then you take a look at United playing well. Chelsea seem to have turned a corner. So Arsenal will be desperate to win this game so that they don't lose any ground.
Won't lose any ground. And also, when you put it in the context of what's just happened recently, like yesterday, they don't want to then continue what you've said. Maybe they've bucked the trend of losing. Obviously, it's a different competition, not the Europa champion, the Europa Cup. But coming into the EPL, I think for them that fourth place was well within their grasp for the longest time. If they lose this one now with the fixtures that they have remaining, it's not the hardest run in, but I think in the back of their minds, the fact that all these other teams, plus it's London as well, that's coming into play, will start to play on their minds. They don't have they haven't played up to the level that we expected them, because now it's that thing in the back of their minds. I think the squad still knows that come the turn of the year, something always happens until the Ides of March. Then they start to pick up again. And thankfully for them, because of the brilliant run they had in the first half of the season, they've got enough points to still be thereabouts. By now, they will be around about 6th, and actually the gap would be increasing. But the fact that they've got enough points and they're still there about the mix, it's still well within their hands to make that 4th place.
Okay, Barry Menandi, kick off for our predictions.
All right, I'm going to go... I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
A 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris?
I'm with Barry, 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Alois?
Manchester on a roll, 3-1.
3-1 to Manchester United.
Yes.
And Sims?
2-1 to United.
2-1 to United, and I'm going for a 1-1 draw in that game. Well, there's other action in England. Crystal Palace versus Brighton at Selhurst Park. Cardiff will entertain the Hammers. West Ham. Huddersfield take on Bournemouth. Leicester City will welcome Fulham. Newcastle United will entertain Everton at St James's Park. At St Mary's, it'll be Southampton versus Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester City will be playing at the Etihad versus Watford, whilst Liverpool host Burnley at Anfield. At Stamford Bridge, Chelsea take on the Wolves, and then of course that big game, Arsenal versus Manchester United at the Emirates.
The league that makes football oh so beautiful, where artistry and strokes of genius are the order of any day, where the game is played with a smile and the little master creates his magic.
Lionel Messi!
All the news from the Spanish La Liga on ZiFM Sport.
The goal the world wants it!
Atletico Madrid host Leganes in La Liga at the Wanda Metropolitano tomorrow, with both sides looking to build on recent victories. Los Rojiblancos continued their rich vein of form recently last week by winning their 4th consecutive game in all competitions as a double from Alvaro Morata. Alois' favourite player clinched all 3 points against Real Sociedad. Now, Diego Simeone's side could move within 4 points of leaders Barcelona with a victory on Saturday. Yet the Argentine manager may opt to shuffle the pack ahead of their Champions League tie with Juventus next Tuesday, and he's likely to do that because that's a very important tie he's got against Juventus, isn't it?
If I'm Diego Simeone, that's what I do. I take a look at Barcelona in La Liga, and I doubt the ability that Atletico Madrid has to chase Barcelona down and win La Liga. I think you'll find that Barcelona will probably win their game and remain 7 points clear. So if I'm Diego Simeone, what do? I take a look at the game that I'm leading versus Juventus 2-0 heading into the second leg, with a fantastic opportunity to beat a team that a lot of people had labelled as one of the favourites for the competition, with Cristiano Ronaldo in their ranks. You beat Juventus, then all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, hang on, we can get anyone in this competition and do the business. It's an open competition. Real Madrid, the defending champions, are out. PSG with their Neymars and Cavani's and Mbappe's, which would have been one of the tricky sides had they gone forward, is out. And all of a sudden now you're thinking to yourself, okay, apart from Barcelona and whoever qualifies between Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and you know, all of a sudden it's a very open, and of course Manchester United, it's a very open competition where any side that's left in the competition, even Ajax, will be fancying their chances.
Absolutely, and Diego Simeone will be very excited with where he stands with Juventus, albeit that, listen, he's taking on Leganes at the weekend. He'll be looking towards that Champions League game and think to himself, the most important part of that scoreline probably to Simeone was not necessarily the 2, and he loves that. It's probably the 0, isn't it?
Definitely
the clean sheet. Yeah,
definitely 0.
He kept them out.
And I think that adds the pressure, because now without those that so-called away goal, or the fact that they didn't breach their defense, it's a game that they can actually... A lot of people used to talk about Jose parking the bus. And not that Atletico Madrid parks the bus, but they're so good at defending that they don't panic in any sort of situation, even if they go a goal down, and they know that they can always hit a team on the break. So now they've already got the 2 goals. If they want to go auto-defensive, they can do it, but still have the option to hit the team on the break. So for me, yes, this is the one that's the priority. But looking at what Mike was saying, that they'll be looking at La Liga and thinking they cannot catch Barcelona, I think there's now the temptation to look at it and think that it's such it's a much more competitive league now. They might reach out for the Champions League, and then another slip up by Barcelona happens. And then they're thinking, what happened? What would have happened? We should have. So I think you will try by all means, maybe it's starting lineup, go gung-ho in the first half, and then start to, rest some of those starters for the midweek game.
All right, your La Liga fixtures that you can look forward to this weekend are Athletic Club of Bilbao versus Espanyol, Television entertaining AIBA. Barcelona take on Rayo Vallecano. It's Getafe versus Huesca, while Celta Vigo entertain Real Betis. Girona versus Valencia. Levante entertain Villarreal. Sevilla are at home against Real Sociedad, and it's Real Valladolid versus Real Madrid. And of course, there's that game that we featured for you, which is Atletico Madrid versus Leganes.
The beautiful game, brought to you by Kwese.
Turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. Enjoy seamless entertainment streaming on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, as well as Al Jazeera. Watch unlimited online entertainment from live sport events, movies, series, top kids shows, and even play games on video channels. Get your Kwese Play device today at zwstore.kwese.com or visit your nearest Econet shop. You'll get it for just $59.
Kwese is revolutionizing home entertainment with Kwese iFlix.
Pogba!
Kwese iFlix brings you the freshest lineup of on-demand sports and entertainment on the go. Get access to an extensive range of sports, over 3,000 shows, movies, and more, all at your fingertips. Download the iFlix app today on Google Play Store and Apple App Store and watch TV wherever, whenever. Kwese brings you entertainment on the go with Kwese iFlix.
Kwese, beyond TV. Horsepower unmatched. Torque to beat the best. Speed unrivaled. Sleek and easy on the eye. Let's get behind the wheel of football engineered to perfection. The Bundesliga, made in Germany.
Let's get you up to speed with what's happening in the rest of Europe, and we're going to start off in Germany, where Borussia Dortmund host relegation-threatened VfB Stuttgart this weekend as they aim to revive their title charge and get back to winning ways. After being eliminated from the UEFA Champions League, the Bundesliga is all Borussia Dortmund have to play for from now until the end of the season. Lucien Favre's men have seen their lead go from 9 points to just 2 goals in the last 2 months, and now they head into Saturday's game against Stuttgart in desperate need of a morale-boosting win. The rest of your Bundesliga fixtures: Werder Bremen take on Schalke 04. Bayern Munich will be up against Wolfsburg, RB Leipzig against Augsburg, Freiburg against Hertha Berlin, Mainz will take on Borussia Mönchengladbach, Hoffenheim will be taking on Nuremberg, Hannover versus Bayern Leverkusen, and like I said, Borussia Dortmund against Stuttgart.
Paolo Rossi, Marco van Basten, George Weah, Gabriel Batistuta, Alessandro Del Piero. Serie A has been home to some of the world's finest strikers. And now they welcome arguably the greatest of them all, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best of Italian football on Z.
In Italy, CR7 and his Juve side will look to remain undefeated in Serie A when they take on a struggling Udinese tonight to open the 27th match day. The rest of your fixtures: Parma versus Genoa, Chievo will take on the Rossoneri, AC Milan, Bologna versus Cagliari, Frosinone versus Torino, Internazionale takes on Spal, Sampdoria will host Atalanta, Sassuolo takes on Napoli, and La Viola Fiorentina, they take on Lazio.
Drum, the roaring fans. Take a ride on the wild side with the Africa Report on ZiFM Sport.
The CAF Champions League fixtures this weekend. Group A, AS Vita Club takes on Al Ahly, while ASIC Mimosas entertain Wydad Athletic Club of Casablanca. In Group B, it's Esperance versus Horoya, while Orlando Pirates entertain FC Platinum of Zimbabwe. In Group C, it's Constantine versus Club Africain, while Ismaili take on TP Mazembe. In Group D, JS Saoura takes on Simba Stars. And then Not you, Simon. Not you. Mamelodi Sundowns take on Lobby Stars.
The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese.
You can turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. You can enjoy seamless entertainment streamings on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, and Al Jazeera. And you can also watch unlimited online entertainment from live sport events, movies, series, top kids shows, and even play games on video channels. Get your Kwese Play device today at zwstore.kwese.com, or you can visit your nearest Econet shop for only $59.
All right, we have out of time. We got to go. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
Catch all your favorite sporting action on Kwese iFlix. Download Kwese iFlix today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and enjoy entertainment on the go. That was The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Kwese iFlix, entertainment on the go.